As the game development paradigm shifts, we have seen some great originality appear among small indie developers, from wildfire breakouts such as Minecraft to smaller but no less notable successes such as Limbo. Bastion has become another stellar addition to this list by delivering compelling story intricately woven into solid and enjoyable game mechanics. At the risk of sounding like a starstruck fanboy, I recommend that you don't listen to this review at all and just go play the game, partly so that my ramblings here don't spoil the story for you, but also because even if you don't like the game, Supergiant Games deserve your money. In fact, I strongly suggest that you give Supergiant Games all your cash so that they can develop another game as amazing as this, ASAP. Okay, so enough with the brown-nosing. The calamity, a non-specific apocalypse, has struck the world into tiny fragments, which float about aimlessly until you, aka Kid, wake up and stride towards the edge of what appears to be your bedroom, at which point they conveniently assemble a path to guide you. Eventually you arrive at the Bastion, an unfinished base of operations for you between levels. To upgrade it and progress, you have to negotiate levels and find crystal MacGuffins that build the Bastion bit by bit for you. There is a large array of weapons that you collect, but aren't necessarily all needed. You can only carry 2 of them, a shield and a special power at one time. Both the weapons and enemies come from the stock video game Arsenal villainy roster, including area attacks, slow but strong, fast but weak, the enemy you can only hurt from behind, and the easily killed but comes in swarm variety. Fortunately, they haven't tried to fix what isn't broken. Combined with a leveling system and adaptable upgrades for your weapons, it makes you think tactically about the combinations that you bring into battle. Sometimes when you change weapons or are given a new one, a contextualizing quip arrives, justifying more sexy monologue from your narrator.
Machete and carbine still go well together, just like in the war.
This, of course, is entirely welcome, as his grumbling dulcet tones build up an enchanting world. The dynamic use and execution of the narration device makes me wonder why we don't see it more. The only other example I can think of being GLaDOS's humorous speeches. The fact that when you meet the narrator he is introduced as stranger makes you wonder exactly why he knows so much about you. He mocks you when you fall off the edge too much, and gives meaningful insight into the backstory. His wit is the star of the game.
And then he falls to his death. I'm just fooling.
All this is driven by your movements within the game, creating a powerful sense of immersion and connects you to the characters, giving the story a lot of emotional weight. Instead of telling you what you did or saw with cutscenes, apart from a couple of tiny ones, all the important information is told to you without taking controls from you. The game gives you the reins of the emergent story and says, go on, find out for yourself. It really delivers on the story, and part of it I really liked was that the Bastion progresses with you throughout the game, slowly turning from a haven into a home, which contains the characters the story centers around. The isometric viewpoint and the hack-and-slash gameplay brings to mind games like Torchlight and Spiral Knights, but the vibrant, hand-painted look of the graphics has more in common with some point-and-click adventures such as Tiny Bank Story. Disappointingly, as with many console to PC ports, the WASD controls don't give you particularly precise over where you go. Although a cursor is provided and some auto lock-on helps with aiming and such, plugging in a gamepad gives you smoother control. But all in all, this is a minor complaint. I had heard great things of the soundtrack and was expecting a score that would make me hum it for days on end. I wasn't sold short. It all fits in with the mood, and is another big reason why I was immersed in it for several hours at the time. However, there is one very special song that you find a few hours in, that is to Bastion what Still Alive is to Portal. You'll be humming this tune for days to come. The engaging combat alone makes this game good enough for most people to enjoy. The addition of intriguing story bound into the gameplay in a way that doesn't compromise the quality of either creates a world that you really want to explore. This is the perfect example of video games as art, and the way I hope our medium will grow in the future.
Proper story is supposed to start at the beginning. Ain't so simple with this one. Now here's a kid whose whole world got all twisted, leaving him stranded on a rock in the sky.